Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man, who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the Yard of Streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And obviously, it's not just me, Patty P, here in the Yard of Streams. I'm joined, as always, by the best of the West you can't forget about, Sara Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello. I need to clear the air. Okay.
What? Big one of these.
And you're taking the absolute piss out of this great sport.
That was my message to you for playing Jericho. That was incredibly rude.
Well, it was kind of incredibly rude of you to wake me up in mid-meditation with Tama Tonga.
There was something wrong with you. I don't know.
There was nothing wrong.
I came in here and your head was down. Maybe you were dead. I don't know.
We've had a very long day, and it rained. You ever walk around a city in the pouring rain?
No.
Yeah, I did today.
Cry about it. How about that?
I kind of did a little bit.
Yeah.
Internally, but yeah, we did. And then I came here to the Pitts Cave. I call it the Shenanigan Shack. That's what I kind of want to call it. That'd be a sick name for a bar, but anyways, I come down here to get away from it all and hang with you, Sara, and the peeps to talk wrestling, because that's what brings me true joy. That's what brings me true joy in this world. So I'm just happy to be here, as always. All right. I'm happy to be here. No title. All right. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna clear some air too. I'm beat up. All right. I'm tired. I'm old, and I work with children. To reference one of my favorites. Because I do, in a way. And I'm just beat up. But we're here. All right. Like, I thought I had personal training today, even with a sprained AC joint. And I showed up and I didn't. It was actually my trainer's birthday. Fun fact, going to one of my restaurants I sell to. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, we show up. And that's just one of those things you just pass along. I don't know how to wrap it up with a nice bow, but yeah, you just show up. Because that's what we do. Because that's what I love to do. Sara, I don't care if it's with you. I don't care if it's with the peeps in the chat. I don't even care if it's my dad upstairs who has zero idea what I'm talking about when I say that the tribal chief is actually Roman Reigns and not Solo Sikoa. He just looks at me like I have 5 heads. But I'm happy to talk wrestling with you here today. So enough of my royal ramble, because I did have that to get off my chest. I had to vent that out, and I thank you for being the sponges of that. So let's hear from the peeps. Sara, we got Lenice saying, where I'm doing what? Well, you just heard how I'm doing. All right. My little soliloquy that I just went on. Had to get that off my chest. Bernard, what's up? Good team. Good team to start the Man League, or the season 2 of the Man League, whatever. Because that draft was going on. Vinny Ayo, thanks for the follow on Twitter or X. Like, guys, down links in the description. Vinny did it. All right. He follows Sara and I. You can do the same so that you can not only hear our wrestling takes here, but, on the go. Like a nice Dunkin' Iced. Lamest intro. Fuck you, Vinny. Okay.
No,
Fuck
it was
you.
David, I think.
I mean, David, sorry.
Denny. Denny.
You know what?
Denny
Boom.
Denny Boom.
Denny Boom. What was this? I saw a video on TikTok. Dominic Mysterio walk away from the Judgment Day.
I know. There's so many people that are thinking that it's not Finn that is doing sneaky planning. They think that it's going to be that they kick Finn out or something. I don't know. And that like Dom is going to leave, or I don't know. But that is something.
Ooh, I like that. Dominic Mysterio is now a leader of something. How the turntables.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Like, that would be something I'm interested in.
Okay.
Because then we'd have to hear him talk. You would have to stop booing. Or
I
you'd have to
guess.
take the Don Callis approach or Christian Cage approach, where it doesn't matter how loud you're booing, he's still going to talk.
Well, and all they have to do is turn his mic up. So
That's true,
because they
too.
turn it down when he's getting booed. So
True, but still, I'm so ready for this next level, Dominic Mysterio. So yeah, how you doing?
also Nathaniel says hi, by the way.
Hey, Nathaniel.
And he wants to know where your women's title is.
It's over there. As I said, I'm hurt, like genuinely hurt. Sprained AC joint. So I just am not lifting things. I'm not lifting things if I don't have to. Okay. I don't care if it's there. I don't care if even it's to go to there to there. I'm not doing it. So yeah. But that's me. Sarah, I'm just done royal rambling over here. So let's just talk about a few of our least and favorite things with our favorite segment of the week.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Do not be a lemon, Sarah. Be a rosebud. Be a rosebud. It is time for our lemons and rosebuds of the week. Lemons are our least favorite things, and our rosebuds are our favorite things of the week. So, Sarah, I've been talking a lot here. How about you tell me and the people what your favorite thing in the Wrestleverse was this week?
So this is according to Russell Votes, which, take it for what it is. But I feel like we've kind of been seeing the makings of this, so it doesn't feel that far off from probably being true. But during his radio show or whatever he does, he was talking about Braun Breaker and the plans that WWE has for him. And I guess they are planning, at least right now, to continue him being a tweener. And I am here for it because I have talked about so many times how much I would love for a heel or somebody like Braun Breaker to be a tweener. And according to Wrestle Votes, that's what they want to do. They kind of want him to be more of a heel, like in general. But if he's gonna cut a promo, like he can play into the crowd and kind of cut a babyface promo. But it's just gonna depend on, of course, who he's against, what the context is, blah blah blah. And so that just has me excited because we don't see a lot of that.
No.
Like we've kind of talked about seeing it a little bit with LA Knight, especially before they kind of, before he really took off. I would say he was
towing lines.
and he still does it because, with the triple threat that he was doing with Melo and Andrade, I mean, he was getting in Andrade's face, and Andrade's not a heel. So they're definitely testing it, and I'm hoping that we kind of see more of that. And I'm excited if Braun Breaker is going to be kind of like the leader of that moving forward, because I feel like he's the perfect one to do that. I think he thrives as a heel a lot more than he does as a babyface, but obviously most of his career in NXT was spent as a babyface. So it's not like he's bad at one and not the other. So I'm excited to see how they go about doing this.
No,
and we talked about it too. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but when he was going against Jay, I mean the barking from the audience, you could hear it from even though Jay's entrance, that it's so big and so loud. And it's like not many people are more over than Jey Uso right now. So the fact that Braun was still getting chants and barks and whatever, like that tells you like you probably should lean into this tweener role.
Yeah, there needs to be an anti-hero at this point on a show. And not many people can do it so authentically like Braun Breaker does. He's someone where it doesn't matter if you're barking for him or not. Like, he's gonna kick ass. It reminds me a lot of this generation's Brock Lesnar.
Stone Cold.
Well, Stone Cold for the personality, but ass kicker and just beast of a man like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I just mean as like a tweener.
Correct.
Stone Cold is like the poster child of that in my eyes.
Yeah. So I really I see this being a good thing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go about it, just because we haven't seen this yet with Triple H. So like, you kind of don't know what to expect, I guess. Like, the cynic in me believes that they'll probably try to lean in more to the babyface stuff, just because Triple H has had and his team, of course, the Triple H regime has had a really difficult time with solidifying believable heels. So it feels like they really just kind of cater to the typical fan that just wants to cheer for somebody. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But I feel like Braun is too good as the heel champion for them to do that. So I'm hoping they won't. But I think that it is interesting to see how they'll navigate that every week, because it could change on a weekly basis. Like, how
makes it easy for them to do a triple threat for next title defense. Similar to LA Knight. I could absolutely see that. Just because of the way things are going right now, it feels like there doesn't need to be one definitive person. You just want Braun Breaker to get a good win.
Yeah.
So I love it. I'm such a big fan of Braun Breaker right now and how they're utilizing him. It's great. My Rosebud of the week. I don't have a specific Rosebud from AEW this week. I'm honestly gonna say my Rosebud is my excitement level for Full Gear, because I have not been this excited to watch an AEW pay-per-view since probably All In with MJF and Adam Cole main eventing. Like, I have not had this much excitement level, because it actually feels like there's some sort of change happening within AEW for the better. I know. I hate to break it to you, but it is.
That's not why I'm reacting. It's just like, I wish I have tabulated how many times you've said this.
Nah, but there's actual proof.
That's what you said.
I'm gonna explain it on the show. Well, I'm gonna explain when we get into the car and travel around the Wrestleverse.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, it feels, just with every decision that's been made on the show, with booking, who's in the top spots, who's even on the show, compared to who's taking a leave, and I don't know.
Do you think it has anything to do with their new partnership?
Max, absolutely.
That might be why.
Yeah, and with a deal with Max and Ring of Honor, even potentially being a streamed show, weekly television show. That's why Jericho is the fucking champ.
I still think it's hilarious that they think he's a draw.
But no, it's okay. He's not, but is, because what it does, it brings legitimacy to the Ring of Honor championship, to the stupid big, corporate money mind, because they're not like us. They don't know that Jericho is washed. Correct.
How is that legitimacy?
Because they see that he had a longevity. He had a
god,
very long career in WWE and was a champion, decorated all this. So then
why did I not know
he can carry.
I did not know he was 54. How did I not? Damn. I thought I was being mean by saying 50 because he was in his 40s. But no,
he was absolutely in his 50s. Absolutely.
I did not know that. But anyway, I mean, yeah, we won't agree on that level. But
I'm right. Like, I just am.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of what is happening right now with AEW. Even if they have the fucking Costco guys, but we are getting to the lemons of the week. So, Sarah, what about yours? What was your lemon? What did you not like?
Sorry, I just got thrown off by a message that someone sent me.
Shocking.
So this is, I don't know, this is kind of a weird thing, but you've been seeing a lot more of Alexa Bliss recently. You know, people have been asking her, like, when are you returning?
Yeah,
like, do you even want to return? And so she's been active in saying, yeah, she wants to return. She doesn't know when, she doesn't know how, she doesn't know what she'll be doing, and saying, like, it's not up to me. And so it seems as though we've kind of been talking about an Alexa Bliss return for months at this point, and we still don't have an answer about, like, okay, when is she going to return? What, like, when is this happening? And then we see that Charlotte Flair just posted a video on social media seemingly teasing a return shortly. And it just got me frustrated because I think that we need, well, not we, but WWE needs to stop, like, playing favorites in a way. Like, I get that Charlotte is a bigger name and a bigger talent that you can put on posters and stuff than Alexa Bliss, so I'm not acting like I am ignorant to that fact. But I think that it'll be pretty messed up if they bring back Charlotte before they bring back Alexa, or at least have plans for Alexa, because Alexa's been able to come back for a while, and that hasn't been the case with Charlotte. So I just want them to stop doing this favoritism, which I know won't stop, but the women's division could benefit from having Alexa Bliss back, like, especially on Raw. Charlotte going to SmackDown isn't needed as much as, like, an Alexa Bliss going to Raw. You know, and she could be a solid person for, like, Liv Morgan to feud with. So, yeah, it just bums me out a bit that that's probably what's going to happen, that Charlotte is going to make some triumphant return and probably immediately become a champion, and Alexa's still going to be on the shelf because they're just like, oh, we don't know what to do with you. It's like, but has there ever really been a plan for Charlotte when you brought her back other than have her win the title? There's really not been any plan beyond that. So
there's been a plan. Well, I know that Alexa has been dealing with a lot more than just the pregnancy since, you know, she has taken a hiatus from WWE. She's had a lot of, like, medical stuff that's happened, and
are you sure it's her and not Carmella?
no, I'm positive it's Alexa too. There's a whole list. I saw an Instagram post of there was, like, multiple things, like 3 or 4 things that she had to deal with, but, like, during her absence from WWE. And with Charlotte, it's, yeah, I thought we were going to see Charlotte a little sooner, to be quite honest with you. And to me, it doesn't seem like Charlotte's going to return to Survivor Series, but, like, really gearing up for a Royal Rumble return, which to me makes more sense than Alexa Bliss.
Well, so then we should put her on the shelf for 3 more months or longer?
We don't know.
I feel
We
like
don't
that's
know what's
messed
up
up.
with her.
Well, Alexa's been saying she's wants to come back. She's been training.
Yeah,
So
what
that's
I'm
why I'm saying
saying
it's not
is,
fair
like,
to say that she can't come back because, oh, well, Charlotte's coming back. They
but what
probably
if
won't
it's
even be on the
not
same brand.
exactly? But what if you're trying to do something with Alexa and the Wyatt Six? You can't just rush that. Like, it needs to make sense.
No, but I feel like if she showed up in a vignette in 2 weeks, would anyone be questioning the timing? No. She can do pre-taped stuff and people would still be excited. Like, I'm just saying that there are paths for her to be on to get back into WWE. They could easily just bring her back on a random episode of Raw if they wanted to, and be like, Liv does an open challenge, or Liv is like, you know, no one can face me, blah blah blah, and it's, or Adam Pearce is like, I picked somebody for you, and it's Alexa Bliss. You know what I mean? Like, there's so easy,
You're not wrong.
stereotypical ways for them to bring her back, or they could introduce her into the Wyatt Six by doing a vignette. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there are easy ways to bring her back that doesn't need to be super elaborate the way that it feels like they're trying to make it. And it's like, Alexa Bliss is not like one of the girls that if they were cutting people, they'd cut her. You know what I mean? She's not in that space. So it's not like, oh yeah, she's like, I mean this in a respectful way. She's not like a Tegan Knox where it's like, yeah, we're not going to rush to bring her back because like she's not really done anything.
There's no legacy there. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like somebody like Alexa should not be being put on the back burner just because she doesn't have the star power of a Charlotte Flair. And it's like, well, yeah, Charlotte doesn't even need a storyline to come back either. It's fucking Charlotte. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just hoping that like we're not going to get to a point where they're deciding to bring Charlotte back. And then because of that, they're deciding not to bring Alexa back for a while. Because I feel like one doesn't have to do with the other. You can bring them both back. They're probably going to separate shows. They have totally different paths that they're going to be on. Like it shouldn't be one or the other in my eyes at all.
Okay. I see differently. So.
Yeah, that's because you like Charlotte and you don't like Alexa, apparently. So
that's a lie and a half.
Well, why you're sitting here advocating for her to not come back until late February?
It has to make sense.
Yeah, but she's already been sitting around waiting
for like. But when are you going to insert?
How does the Royal Rumble make more sense for Charlotte than it does for Alexa?
Because it's Mania season.
Okay,
and you need to have Charlotte Flair.
No, you don't. We didn't have her this year. We didn't have her this year, and the show was just fine. It was just fine without her.
But you just have her on the show. Like when she's on the roster, you just have her on the show. That's just how it works.
I don't.
That's WWE.
Well, I don't think
you have to have a Flair on the show.
I don't think so. They didn't have one. They didn't have one at WrestleMania 40, and I don't think anybody
was the greatest of all time.
We didn't sit there and say, "Where is Charlotte Flair?" I really wish we could see a Charlotte Flair match. Nobody was saying that.
Yeah, but it's okay.
I'm just
saying. If Charlotte Flair is on the active roster, okay. And she's not injured. Do you have her miss WrestleMania?
That's not what I'm saying. You're saying that she has to come back at the Royal Rumble because she has to be at Mania. I'm saying that doesn't make sense. She can come back anytime between now and Mania and have a Mania match. It doesn't have to be the Royal Rumble.
That's
not the only reason why people return at the Royal Rumble. So that doesn't negate Alexa coming back at the Royal Rumble. She doesn't have to have a Mania match to come back at the Royal Rumble.
No, that's okay. I'm not for her to have a. All right, never mind. I just want her to come back at the Royal Rumble. That's where I think it makes the most sense. That's it.
We do not. You know what, the bad guy? I appreciate that you're here. I really do. But this is the last thing I want to see.
Yeah, girl. Dude,
I want to see.
Guy. Imagine Scott Hall is telling you that right now.
Charlotte versus Tiffany is something that I want to see, but I need Charlotte to lose. And my belief in that happening is about slim to none because Charlotte is like a Charlotte Hogan.
Could you imagine? Bow down.
She would be like this would be like her 15th or 16th championship. Girl, bye. No. Her potentially taking the crown from her father instead of John Cena? Absolutely not. No. Their careers are not at all comparable.
John Cena is going to be a 17. Like,
what if they want it to be like it went from a Flair to another Flair? I'd want to kill myself.
Yeah, in a different era, not run by Papa Paul.
Yeah, who is like the biggest cheerleader for Charlotte?
There you go. There's your bad guy. There's your bad guy saying things.
She needs to get that's the point of her career that she's in. I'm not saying that she doesn't ever have to can't ever win another championship. I'm not saying that. However, you have done everything possible basically in WWE. You need to get to a point where you're okay with helping the next generation of girls try and get on that same path instead of putting yourself first all the time. And I don't see that from Charlotte. Charlotte put Charlotte first every single time.
Could you imagine at the end of the Women's United States Championship tournament, we crown a new winner and all you hear is all hail. Like
she's coming out to challenge.
Yes, 1,000%, because that's a new title.
Well, I don't want that, but I would prefer she goes after a mid-card title than trying to, be like a 16 time.
Medium.
That's the only way I would be okay. I don't want her to win. I don't want.
I never said she has to win it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I would prefer her going after the new mid-card title than trying to put another championship on her, because it's like, I already think that her numbers are inflated anyway. Like, she's won the title that many times, but how many times did she hold it for less than a day or less than a week or less than a month? It's like half the number of times that she's been champion. It's been under a week or a month. That's why it's like, I'm not into it.
All right. I love it. I would love to see that happen. Someone mark that down.
The only reason she agreed to this was because she was leaving. She was going on vacation. So I really believe that's the only reason she did that.
Someone mark this episode down that this is when I correctly predicted Charlotte Flair's return. So
that's not okay. You've made a
There's
prediction
two
that like
options
everybody
there.
else has predicted.
There's two options to choose from. Okay, so just
you do not
this.
get credit for something that everybody has been saying. It's so easy to predict somebody returning at the Royal Rumble. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. You are not saying anything unique.
I also said that the mid card, she could return the mid card. That's two options that you have there, WWE. Pick your poison.
You see Remy's ear? Oh.
I don't.
Oh, she moved.
My lemon. All right. So there's a few things that peeved me this week that are my lemons, all from AEW, because you covered WWE for us. The fact that Bobby Lashley in his debut match in Dynamite faced a dude named Cheeseburger, that annoyed me.
Can I comment on that?
Sure.
I saw people on Twitter pissed off about that. People who are anti-AEW, mind you, but still, respect Bobby Lashley. I have not seen so many Smark fans on the internet in quite a while than someone saying, I don't understand how Bobby Lashley left WWE to debut in AEW against a guy named fucking Cheeseburger. Okay. The fact that there were people saying he is an ROH legend, that people know who this guy is, that he's so great, he's this and that. You're just an idiot because you don't know who Cheeseburger is.
Yeah, you
don't know what a squash
rolling on
match
the floor
is.
laughing.
People know what a squash match is, and the thing is, the reason that I have an issue with people's responses like that is because if it were reversed, right? If Bobby Lashley left AEW and went back to WWE, or even if it was like, I don't even know, who's an equivalent to a Bobby Lashley in AEW that was like never in WWE?
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Okay, Powerhouse Hobbs leaves AEW and goes to WWE. If his debut match in WWE was against some jobber named fucking Hamburger, nobody would be sitting there that were AEW fans and being like, oh my God, I can't believe he faced Hamburger. This guy is a legend, blah, blah, blah. They would all be clowning him for leaving AEW and going to the other brand and facing some jobber. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the thing that irritates me with the criticism with the people who are like pro one company and anti the other company. Like, have the same energy for both companies, because you look like a hypocrite. You would be clowning them if it happened in WWE, but it's great because you love Cheeseburger. Stop. Sorry, I had to get that out.
The fact that the Costco guys are part of AEW and will be wrestling in a match against QT Marshall at Full Gear, 0 hour of Full Gear. I understand the premise behind it. I don't hate the idea. I actually think Tony Khan's pretty smart for it. I'm just not the biggest fan of the Costco guys. So, personal pet peeve. And then this is my real one, because this one really upset me, is the amount of outrage that people have for how lackluster the main event of Dynamite was, the go-home show for Full Gear, with it being Wheeler Yuta versus Orange Cassidy, and everyone being up in arms that this is your go-home match. You're having these two guys, like, the crowd is so not into it. Well, into it or not, it makes sense. Like, this should be the main event for the go home show. It's Wheeler Yuta, John Moxley's pawn against Orange Cassidy. Before you get to the final boss, you always have to fight one of their soldiers. We've played Mario before. You don't get to Bowser at level 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the fact that Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta even have that history together, with actually Wheeler Yuta, not only the sleeping on the couch stuff, but he was in Best Friends with him and Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. People forget. So, like, yeah, it's boring because it's Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta. It's not the biggest names, but for how they're building the main event of Full Gear and how they've treated this entire story has been really well done, to the point where it shouldn't matter who it is, but who the people are, who are A and B fighting. Like, it makes sense and it's well done. And the fact people are saying, look at this makes no sense. Like, you're so wrong. God, I love Thor the Bird. All right, go Birds.
No,
That's a shout out to my Philly peeps.
sickening. Imagine you being happy that the Patriots lost Super Bowl 52.
I didn't say that.
You probably
But I
were.
have Philly peeps.
You were probably cool with it.
No, I cried on the way home, actually. That was
Good.
a tough car at home.
Good.
In the pouring rain, actually.
Oh, wow. Setting the scene.
I was listening to my Deep Soft playlist, which has like You Raise Me Up, Fix You. Oh, just absolute tearjerkers. Hurt by Johnny Cash. It's a lot of deep cuts in there.
I was so mad. I had the opposite feeling. I stopped watching the game though, so I didn't watch after halftime.
Oh no, we watched until they got to like the podium because my best friend and I were in delusion mode where we thought that Tom Brady could still get back on the field and
when the
win the game.
When the refs are actively working against you, it's kind of impossible to do
tough.
that. So
Tough.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's my lemon. Cause actually, you know what? I'm gonna make this into a banner, and you know what, Sarah? Fuck getting in the car. Let's just talk about this and travel around the Wrestleverse. Mercedes.
Oh geez.
Is a lemon. All right. That's just that. That just needs to stay because I can't stand her anymore. I loved Sasha Banks in WWE and thought it was well done. And honestly, at this point, she should have went back to WWE to explore who Sasha Banks could have been under the new Triple H regime, but instead took the money and is more obsessed with who Mercedes, is, and is kind of, it seems like from the outside perspective that she is abandoning the wrestling aspect, and wants to go more star route, because how they're portraying her on television every week is really infuriating. The way that they're having her be this evil queen or evil, evil queen, kind of telling Camille to order her around, even with like her in the sling, like it's just not hitting. And then the shit that she's saying on the mic too, and the botches, like I'm not into it. Like I want Chris Statlander to essentially squash her and launch her up to the women's title division, because that's the only other place I can find for her.
So are they portraying her like she's the best woman in the company? Like she's the top dog in the women's. Okay. And then by botches, do you mean botches in the ring or on the mic? Because she's infamous for both.
Well, she had a bad one when she went for the backstabber that would eventually go into the bank statement. And
on who?
Chris Statlander, but they were trying to do a spot where instead of going back, we're having Stat go back and then into the submission,
Mhm.
they were gonna have her stand on the back, like show how strong Stat is because she's jacked.
Mhm.
But she couldn't hold on, and it was a really bad. It was just not a good look. And then
Mm.
the whole I don't like the whole the way she was, you know, talking about the Sixers not in Philly. Like they weren't in Philly, and she was talking
Oh,
about the Sixers,
where were they?
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
So like she's not far off. Like so, but like at that point, it's just
it's also low hanging
not
fruit.
it.
Like if that's
Thank you.
if
That's
that's something that you
the
have to rely on. Like I just saw the uh segment from whenever between Ricky Starks and MJF, and when Ricky's like, okay, you already did your shtick, like you insulted the fans and where they are, and you said this and you said that, and then he like makes fun of him for his haircut and the scarf and the boots or whatever. It's like that's what it reminds me of. Like, yeah, there are certain things that you can do as a heel, obviously making fun of the crowd and where you're at and whatever, and like that's so old school, but it's also like you shouldn't rely on that to get heat because it's just cheap heat anyway. Like, but it doesn't
I
really
don't like it.
surprise me, honestly. I said that I felt like fans would get like this with her return. I was like, it probably won't take long for people to be sick of her, because part of the problem is, and I think that we've seen that time and time again with AEW, but I think she's obviously unique because they brought her in, they paid her a ton of money, they let her bring in her own writer, like she's in charge of doing whatever. I think she has too much freedom, and that's what you're seeing. That's why people are feeling this way about her, because she's doing too much of what she wants. And granted, they have the right to want to do these things, and if they have a company that is willing to let them do these things, as long as they obviously reel them in from going too overboard, that's fine. But there's a reason why they start to be perceived this way. It's because like the fans are like, okay, this ain't hitting, but like they're not changing what they're doing because, well, that's what they want to do. You know what I mean? And then, of course, we've talked about it with Jericho, where Jericho is mistaking people booing him or telling him to retire as, oh, they hate me because I'm a bad guy. And it's like, no.
Oh no, he knows.
But you know what I
He's
mean?
a
Like he
smart
takes it
cookie.
as if like, oh, I'm just doing a really good job at my job. It's like, no, that's not why. And I feel like Mercedes is just still kind of in the honeymoon phase in AEW. That she's not recognizing like that she's not the best ever. And
She's not.
oh my god, I saw on TikTok these people that were like, rank the 4 horsewomen. Holy moly.
Charlotte. Was it Charlotte 1, Sasha
Yep.
2, Becky
Mhm.
4?
Becky 4.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. It's always good. It's You can tell if someone knows ball where they have Becky Lynch in there.
And
Because it doesn't
Bailey.
matter for
I think if you have Bailey at 4, I still wouldn't respect you either. Like, I get it. Everyone's going to have their favorite. Because, yeah, Charlotte was 1, obviously. Charlotte, I feel like the number 1 spot is obviously going to be up to everybody's opinion. But, yeah, I think
you
that
can't
if you
have
have...
Becky Lynch at 4.
No. And if you actually know your shit, then you would be putting Sasha at 4, if we're being honest. So...
Yes, I've heard a couple of people saying number 1 being Tessa Blanchard. Absolutely, yes, for sure. Terrible, you terrible people. Yeah, she sucks.
This is a bad list. This is such a bad list. Becky is not 4. She's not. I love you, bad guy, but I'm sorry. Becky's not 4.
All right. We're already in the car. We've been talking. Let's go to WWE. Let's talk about the trending topic that is happening right now with the Netflix trailer for Raw debuting today, and people are going up in arms, and there's streamers in it. It's awesome, new era, all this. But then there's also news about what superstars are going to be on the show and whatnot. And it was obviously, as you see in the banner, reported that Roman Reigns will spend a lot of time on Raw after the move on Netflix. And yeah, probably to start, he will be going on Netflix. They're going to do a lot of cross promotion there because when is Netflix debuting? Right before the Royal Rumble. All right. The Royal Rumble is the start of WrestleMania season. They're trying to get people to be invested for WrestleMania season. So yeah, you're going to have your top guy on the new flashy platform. After that, I don't know. That's where I want your thoughts.
Yeah, this is according to WrestleVotes also. He was saying that there are talks of him being on there until Mania, spending more time on Raw than on SmackDown. Doesn't make sense to me, if you're asking me, to be spending more time on Raw anyway. Spending time on Raw, fine. But I also am, it's a little bit hard for me to believe when this guy doesn't even show up for SmackDown every week. Are we really going to believe that he's going to do double duty? No, I don't believe that for a second. I think that he probably will spend more time on Raw potentially because he'll be choosing to go to Raw and not SmackDown. That's my belief. But if we're talking about leading up to Mania, that's where I get a little confused. And I even responded to the comment or to the story because everything that we've seen, it looks like they're building for a bloodline storyline at Mania. Whether it's Roman versus Rock or Roman versus whoever, it feels like it's going to be a branch from the bloodline story tree. And so him going to Raw doesn't make a whole lot of sense because only Jay is over there. Sammy's over there, but he's not beefing with either of them right now. So that makes no sense. So the only thing that you would think that he'd be doing on Raw is something with Seth Rollins. So, but then it's like, do we need to get on? Oh, it could be Seth versus Roman at Mania.
I don't go there. My mind
he has to be doing something on Raw if he's going to be spending so much time on Raw. The bloodline is on SmackDown besides Jay and Sammy. So like I said, he's not beefing with them. So why would he be spending so much time on Raw? They have to have a point besides, oh, we just want the biggest star on Raw, Not to mention,
I feel like Netflix wants him for future projects. That's all I can.
Well, remember they also revealed Netflix is going to have Raw, SmackDown, and PLEs outside of the US.
I know.
So them being like, oh, we want him on Netflix. You're going to be having him on Netflix, just not in the US.
It matters.
I get it, but it's like, okay, just wait 4 more years until they're done with USA or buy them out of their USA contract for SmackDown. Cough up the billions of dollars.
USA's got to keep. So that means that Cody has to stay on SmackDown then.
That's why I'm saying, like, that's why when, we talked about this whole controversy about, oh, well, the advertisements show Cody and Roman and Cena and Bianca, so this means they're all going to Raw. No, it doesn't. There's no way in hell that USA Network would ever be okay with losing Roman Reigns and losing Cody Rhodes by moving them to Netflix. There's no fucking way, because we talked about this when Roman was champion and wasn't showing up for SmackDowns for months at a time. USA Network was complaining to WWE allegedly, but they were allegedly complaining okay, we need a champion. That's why it was like, okay, we need to do something with the USA title because we need them to have a champion on SmackDown. It's another reason why they brought in the World Heavyweight title. It's like, all right, USA Network wants something, So it's hard for me to imagine that they would then sign off on like the biggest stars of the show that they just moved to the USA Network, that they would sign off on their biggest stars going to the opposite show. That makes no sense. So if this is true about Roman spending time on Raw, I'm just curious why. And we don't know yet, but the only thing that we know as of right now is we think that Rollins might be involved in the Survivor Series stuff, and that's the only thing that kind of brings him to Raw. It still doesn't make that much sense in my eyes, because again, everything else is on SmackDown. No one said anything about Jay and Sammy being on SmackDown. No one's been like, oh, they're going to be traded to SmackDown. No one's been talking about that. So why does, and
For Sammy's safety, I hope he doesn't go to SmackDown.
I know,
God, Kevin
But-
Owens will kill him.
but you remember what else?
He will kill
So
him.
someone sent me the video earlier and I totally forgot about it. When Roman had Paul Heyman withdraw himself from the draft. So Roman isn't Roman technically a free agent? So he's not really tied to SmackDown. You know, the others are tied to their shows.
I love the little nuances that happen in WWE.
I know, I had totally forgotten about that until the person posted it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. I think that technically he's considered a
Like,
free
how
agent."
many little details do we follow? Like, I would love to know if we're following that.
I know, and if that's the case, then I guess okay, yeah,
I'm
he's gonna
like,
spend time on Raw,
sure.
but that's
I'm okay with
that's
it,
where it's
but-
going to be interesting to see how open USA Network will be with being like, yeah, Roman, you don't need to be on SmackDown for a month.
Shout out USA Network social media account for responding to
Fire.
me.
I know they responded to me too.
I love interaction like that.
Yeah, they actually were sending out packages to people when SmackDown moved to USA. Like they were getting in touch with some like content creators and stuff, and they sent them like goodie bags of SmackDown merch and stuff.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I want a goodie bag. That was
I
the
know.
best part about leaving a birthday when you were a birthday party when you were a kid. You got a goodie bag. They were
Except
awesome.
if it had really shitty candy in it. But
What do you
yeah.
what do you classify as shitty candy though?
Like if it was just like a bunch of lollipops or something, or like the no, give me some chocolate, baby.
So like Tootsie Rolls?
Fuck no, chocolate.
That's chocolate.
No, that's like poop chocolate. No, I'm talking
What
like
do you mean poop
Reese's
chocolate?
peanut butter cups or like
That's a candy.
Milky Way. That's what I'm talking about. Chocolate candy.
Tootsie Rolls are chocolate.
No.
I don't know what to tell you. It's a chocolate candy.
Okay.
Or debate it in the comments if you would like. All right, let's get your blood boiling again. How about we have both Paul brothers?
Oh my god.
On a future let me restart that for editing purposes for you. Wouldn't it be interesting to have the Paul brothers on a future PLE with WWE Hall of Famer Mike Tyson?
No.
I'm like 90% sure Mike Tyson is a WWE Hall of Famer. Somebody in the chat
So
fact check me.
the most interesting part of this whole thing, because I think this is such a dumb idea, but whatever. Jake's already appeared on WWE TV, so this doesn't surprise me.
He was on the other one.
But Jake was saying he would like to appear in a managerial role for Logan. So I thought that was interesting because he could immediately say, oh, I want to get in the ring and I want to do that. I'm a boxer. I'm a fighter. I can get in the ring, you know? But instead he's limiting himself to being a manager. And I'm like, okay, I guess, but I think that the only reason why this is even something that WWE might be interested in, more specifically Triple H, is because obviously they just saw the numbers that his fight did, even if it was a really bad match and whatever. Obviously he knows that Jake Paul is a draw, but I don't know that he would necessarily be a draw in WWE because it's just not the same, you know, like it's not, the boxing audience is not the same as a WWE audience, and Logan is already a draw for them. So like I don't know that Jake would really like put them over the top, you know.
Wrestling fans would actually give real heat to Jake Paul, like not fun heat that we like to boo Dominic Mysterio.
No, it's the same thing with
fun.
Logan. Logan has real heat because people don't like him
because it's a different world. And when you bring that over, it's money. It's printing money, and you're gonna do it in Vegas if you did it at WrestleMania, because that was the first pay-per-view or PLE that I heard them teasing it at. So if that happens, I get it. But from the wrestling fan standpoint, no one cares to see that.
Having one Paul brother is bad enough. We don't need two.
Like, I don't mind Logan. I can't stand Jake.
See, I just can't stand either of
I-
them. But this is the thing too. Why are we having this conversation when who knows when Logan's even going to come back? Logan has
That's
talked about
true.
wanting to be full time and then isn't a full time. Then he had a baby and now he's not doing this and he's off doing that. It's like, I don't think we should be talking about Jake coming around until we know when Logan's going to be around. Because he can't
I hate to
even,
agree with you, but
he
you are
can't
right.
even dedicate his time to being in WWE. We shouldn't be talking about giving him his brother as a manager and like whatever. We know he's probably going to show up. Probably the next time we see Logan is going to be the Netflix Raw. And he's probably
Yeah,
going to talk shit to
obviously.
Cena or something. That's probably what he's going to do
No.
because God forbid he had to
Cena?
actually work to get a match.
It's star power. It's star power, baby.
No one wants to fucking see Logan Paul versus John
Yeah.
Cena. I'm sorry. If you're saying that you do, you're a liar.
All right. La la la. All right, I'll bring it up now. Jon Moxley is in fact leading AEW into a new era. I want to bring up this tweet. No, get rid of this. Oh, this is terrible. Where is it? Where is it? The tweet. Where the fuck? Where is it?
You're so unprepared.
You know what? I was half prepared. All right. So Jon Moxley is leading AEW into this new era because he believes that AEW is necessary for the future of the business and the growth of the popularity of professional wrestling. And a tweet from WrestleOps, quote from Moxley from an interview with at SM Fishman, Scott Fishman of TV Insider, all that. Look him up. He said AEW has to be a success. If it's not, the business gets set back another 20 fucking years. I'm not willing to go through that again. Others who I've known for 15 to 20 years are not willing to go through that again. It's at the hands of our generation. And that is pretty much the framework of why he's doing what he's doing, because you need to have AEW. You need to have an alternative in professional wrestling. Look at the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era happens because of WCW, because there was competition for WWE. We saw what happens in two very specific instances, what happens when there's no competition. You get the early 90s where it was cartoon gimmick after cartoon gimmick, and then you have the 2010s PG era into that weird 2016 era too, where it didn't matter what you were putting on. You just knew it was the only show in town, so you were going, and just nothing that made you emotionally invested like what we are seeing now. And that's why I continue to watch the alternative in AEW, even TNA, and why I love the indies, because there needs to be an alternative for the WWE fan so that you see that there is a world outside of it, and sometimes what you're seeing is not always the best, but you're going to find something that you like better than your whatever you're seeing in WWE.
I mean, it was that's basically why it was created. So that's why it's like cool Mox, like what you're saying, yeah. But it's like you're basically just regurgitating the entire reason why AEW was created in the first place.
But yeah. Exactly.
So it's like cool if he wants to try and be that guy. Obviously, we know that he's a loyalist into AEW, so we know he's never going to come back to WWE. So I don't have a problem with him doing this. I don't think he's doing anything unique necessarily, but obviously it's working for people. So I think it's possible that he could do this, and it feels like the time to do it because they just signed this new television deal. So it's like if you're going to be trying to kind of like jumpstart something new or get people to view AEW in a different light or feel like they're on a path to something better, then sure, but yeah, I just think that it's cool that he's saying it, but at the same time, it's like we've heard this for years with the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes and whatever. Like the whole point of creating AEW is to do exactly that: create competition and have another outlet for wrestling fans to see more people that they might not have seen in wrestling before because they weren't in WWE.
Lucha Underground. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that type of alternative where you're not seeing from the product that you consistently watch.
Ooh.
Like,
what do you
like-
think about a brand split in AEW?
Mm.
See, this is okay. I have one thing to say before you answer. I don't think brand splits are bad.
they're not bad.
I think that they actually
They're not bad.
benefit companies as long as they do it the right way, because we've seen it with the drafts and stuff in the past in WWE. They would like jam pack Raw, and then SmackDown had like nobody on it, and it was like, okay, we get it, SmackDown's the B show to you. Like you have every person that could possibly be a star in the company on one show. So like when you go about it that way, obviously that's wrong. But like when I would say that AEW is getting to a point, and we've talked about before, that their roster is getting very large. So you're not seeing people every single week because you can't. So it wouldn't be a bad idea if they did have, one like a show that was basically their Raw and a show that was basically their SmackDown, and then they just had certain rosters for them. I don't think it's a bad idea.
It's not. You're completely right in that regard. However, they're so far away from a brand split.
I mean, they
Collision's great, and it does serve a purpose right now, but Collision is not on the level of Dynamite. Collision could one day be that, or maybe they have a new what's the word I'm looking for? They filed for a copyright for some word. I forget what the word is, but someone was telling me in the comments that could potentially be their SmackDown per se.
Okay.
But for right now, Collision to me is just for the superstars that deserve TV time but just aren't getting it with Dynamite because of where they are in their stories and whatnot. But it is good, and they're not there yet. Like,
do you wonder how something that I think is kind of interesting to consider when talking about this is how different Collision might be had shit not hit the fan. If CM Punk never left, if CM Punk was the overseer of Collision, basically the way that we were told he was going to be, like, where would Collision be in November of 2024 if none of that happened and he was still there? Like, obviously the landscape of WWE would be different too, because they wouldn't have Punk, and who knows what would be going on with Drew McIntyre and whatever. But I kind of wonder if maybe Collision would be in a better spot if it didn't have such a terrible beginning, because of all the chaos and stuff like that. Like, that's interesting to contemplate how different they might be right now.
It would be very different. It would be a very different landscape.
Yeah.
If that didn't happen.
Oh, see, this is exactly what I was just saying. There was going to do a brand split until Punk left. Yeah. So, and I would say he's never coming back, ever coming back. He's kind of made his feelings known about WWE and how he loves AEW. I don't even think that he would come back for if they put the Shield on the Hall of Fame, I don't even know that he would be there.
Oh, he'd come back for that.
I don't know.
That's where I see him come back. It's my only way I see Jon Moxley ever stepping foot in WWE again.
It's possible, but it also depends on how he views the Hall of Fame, because
if Tony Khan would even let him.
Yeah. But we know how Jericho feels about the Hall of Fame. So it's possible that he feels the same way. It's like, oh, it's not even real. Like, there's not even a building, blah, blah, blah.
Scott D'Amore was snooping around the Performance Center.
I know, but that makes sense. He was with TNA, so makes sense to me.
I'm just
They
saying.
could collab with is it Maple? What is it
Maple
called?
Leaf Wrestling.
Yeah,
I want to see NXT superstars in Maple Leaf.
I
So
wouldn't be
bad.
surprised if they put on some either more of their veteran NXT people or the new incoming classes, if they kind of are going to work with them there as well.
Yeah, like
Very
send
interesting
Trick
too
Williams.
because of the former WWE people that are with Maple Leaf. So
Yeah, send like Trick. I honestly, Tony D'Angelo wouldn't be bad either. I think that'd be a good one. But yeah, those guys.
Very
Fuck it.
interesting.
Rich Holland. Send him to Maple
Oh,
Leaf. He's the
jeez
hottest thing.
Louise.
He killed Chase U. That's
I know.
that's another lemon I had.
I
I
still
hated
don't-
to see Chase U leave.
I still don't really know. I feel like Ridge Holland is a guy that will never be a big thing on the main roster. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like it's great that his career has kind of been like revitalized since going back to NXT, but like there's just certain people that you can tell, like, oh, if you go to the main roster, it's over, brother. Like, and that he's one of those guys in my
He's like
eyes.
a Baron Corbin. He's what Baron Corbin should have been. Like the push he's getting right now is what Baron Corbin.
Well,
should
Baron
have been.
Corbin had a thriving NXT career. What do you mean? Both times. I'm saying when they get to the main roster, Ridge ain't gonna be anything. He's gonna fall off and wish he was back in NXT again. That's what I'm saying. Like there are certain people that I feel like there's nothing really unique about him. That's the thing. Like, what are you cheering for? What are you booing him for?
He's a bad dude.
He's just a caw.
Bad dude.
He's just a caw with an accent. That's what it is.
Yeah, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah. So obviously since Ricochet left WWE, there's been a lot of people that were criticizing him. They've also jumped on the bandwagon of hating Samantha simply because Samantha left too, and they think he was somehow responsible. That's not true.
Pickles.
But
Pickles.
I hate to kind of laugh, and maybe I shouldn't say laugh, but I don't even know, scoff at this idea. But he did an interview and he was saying how he wants to be able to prove that he can carry a company, that he can put a company on his back and be that guy. And it's not getting well received, obviously. I think if we were talking about Ricochet is insanely talented. I mean, we loved watching him in the ring, so it's like I'm not taking anything away. I prefer his style in WWE. If I'm being honest, the matches that he's been doing in AEW ain't what I want to see. Okay, I don't. That one with Leo Rush, holy moly, no, thank you. But I think that he is a dreamer, thinking that he could carry AEW. I'm not saying it is something he could never do. If we're talking about like, you know, at the height of the black and gold era when they brought in Ricochet and it was like, oh my God, you got Ricochet. You know what I mean? Like it was a holy shit moment. If you were talking about him going and like being the face of an NXT potentially at some point, absolutely. So do I think back then he could carry AEW if they were around? Absolutely. But if we're talking about 2024, when they have Will Ospreay and Okada, the Young Bucks, Christian Cage, MJF, like Adam Cole, bro, you have no space to think that you can carry that company. And that's the thing is like, I admire the ambition. I admire the belief in himself and the confidence and whatever. But I also feel like you need to know your place and you also need to be aware of who's around you. You're never going to be bigger than those guys because some of them are AEW loyalists. There are people who have been there since the start. Like you're never going to get bigger than them. And I say that in a respectful way. Like I'm not saying it in like, I don't mean it to be mean, but you know, it's like somebody coming in and thinking that they're going to be bigger than the Undertaker in WWE. You're gonna be bigger than John Cena. Like you can't, like, or you're gonna, you know, it's like you want to come in and be a bigger face of the company than Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes right now. Like it's just not gonna happen. It's not.
I don't see him carry a company, but definitely being in the main event picture, especially in AEW. You know, that's what the alternative is for. He just needs to establish himself with that fan base, and
do you think
you
there's
know his
room
style
for
is
him though?
Yeah, there's room for him. The way they're trending, yes. Like, because you're going to see Will Ospreay. I would think Okada's going to get the belt at some point. Kyle Fletcher. You're going to see those guys rise to the top of AEW very soon and be in that main event picture. Even Shelton Benjamin. Fuck it. I could see
Well, they just
Shelton
brought in
Benjamin.
Bobby Lashley too.
That's
So
what I'm saying. Like they can all hang. Ricochet can hang with all those guys.
I'm not disregarding that. I'm just thinking if we're talking about the pecking order of like who is going to be the upper echelon of AEW and be like,
Takeshi. That was
it's like I don't see him being. I see him being further down the line than he thinks he is what I'm saying. I think they're going to prioritize having other people be towards the top and in the main event and the face of the company. I don't think that's going to be Ricochet. And that's why I'm saying, like, I don't mean it in any sort of disrespectful way, but I feel like if it came down to who do we want to be the face of Collision, let's just say, Bobby Lashley or Ricochet. Are we being, come on, they're going to choose Bobby Lashley. That's what I'm saying. So again, I appreciate the ambition and like I hope that he can thrive and stuff in AEW if that's what he wants to do. I just don't know how close he is to actually accomplishing this goal that he has. You know?
Did your cat just meow?
Yep.
I heard it. I friggin'
She
heard
jumped
it.
on my bed and was like, meow. She just did it again.
All right. And
She
then to wrap things
She
all
talks
up.
back sometimes.
How rude.
Well, I meow at her and then she meows back.
Oh, it's talk back like conversation.
Yes,
love
yes,
it.
yes.
Fucking love it. Speaking of loving it, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, it's Full Gear predictions time. Saturday, 7 o'clock is 0 hour, and then 8 o'clock will be showtime. AEW presents a Full Gear. I'm so excited. I am praying to have peace that night. Remy, do you too? Remy, well, I said Full Gear. No, I ran away. You're probably not.
No, she's still here. She's just walking the runway.
Remy, you and Ada, who do you think's gonna win the main event? Freshly Squeezed? Are you into Freshly Squeezed? No?
No.
Okay. We stand Orange Cassidy at the
Who's he going
Shenanigan
against?
Jack. John Moxley.
Oh, Moxley's winning. Come on, stop it.
All right, so
oh my gosh.
He
Can we
is.
just do a side note really quick? I found out that my boss has never seen the Rocky movies. Okay. He's never seen Grease. He refuses to watch movies before 1985.
That's fucking weird.
I was very disappointed from a wrestling fan perspective that he has not seen Rocky, because I was like, I need you to see Rocky 4 so you can understand what I want Gunther to be.
Yes.
That's the only reason. Yeah. He's like, well, I've seen Creeds 1 through 3. Does that count? I'm like, no, because you don't even know who his dad is. You don't know his dad's story. You don't know what his dad died for.
It's like being a Marvel fan and just jumping in at like She-Hulk, like something so obscure.
He was like, does that count? No. You don't even know his dad's name, probably. You don't even know what happened to his dad. So I sent him the gif of if he dies, he dies. And
if he dies, he dies.
He didn't say anything.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry. I just had to say that.
Such a hard line.
It reminded me.
All right. So I'll start with the. Oh, jeez. Let me just hit your computer
going
screen
heel.
with sweet
She's going
chin
full
music.
heel. Yeah.
Let me get the predictions up on my computer here. So obviously we said the main event. I got Mox. I don't think Orange Cassidy is the one to dethrone him. I have a delusioned brain that I believe Orange Cassidy will eventually end up joining the Death Riders. So I don't see him winning. I have a feeling that
it's the Death Riders are still like relatively new with that name, correct?
Oh my god, with that name, correct? They are the coolest fucking faction.
So that's why I feel even more that there's no way he's losing like this early in this like new thing that he's doing. So
they're so cool. Like they are the coolest. They have like imagine if the Shield was a little bit more rated R, but for violence.
You know what else is disappointing about my boss?
What?
He was making a joke about how I need to just like recite songs or like sing songs or something like that in front of our coworkers because I'm like, oh, I just get really nervous. And I was like, oh, I'll just recite promos. And I was like, I'll
Yeah,
just
why
start it
not?
off with the Scott Hall invading WCW. He's like, I'm not familiar with that one.
You know
And I was like,
who I am.
I understand that you are young because he's only 26. But I was like, brother,
know why.
you don't know. Because I started writing it. He's like, nope, never heard it. I was like,
Oh, it's on YouTube.
I told him that he just personally offended me and that I was hurting emotionally, mentally, and physically. But anyway, I'm sorry. I had to tell you that too. I forgot to tell you.
So we started with that one. I'll just go down the list.
Okay.
Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. I think Kyle Fletcher. I think they're really gonna build up Kyle Fletcher into this next level star. There's no reason for Will Ospreay to win this one, especially if they're going to build this into a trilogy. Have Kyle Fletcher get the first one because the Don Callis family are the hottest heels right now with him, Takeshna, who launch him to the moon, and then Lance Archer and Brian Cage. I love them, so kick him off with a win, and then that'll kickstart the trilogy. Who do you want to win?
Over Ospreay or Fletcher, who do I want to win?
Who's your prediction? Who you throwing out there to win?
I'm gonna say Fletcher because Ospreay is a dude who's willing to do whatever. He does not care if he wins or loses.
He didn't want to win.
He loses a lot more than he wins.
He didn't want to. He didn't want to win the AEW championship.
So that's what I'm saying. Because he doesn't give a fuck. Because he's like, I'm Will Ospreay. I don't need that kind of stuff to like validate me.
That's a goat.
And what?
That's a goat. That's a goat right there.
I thought you said that's a quote.
No, it's a goat.
No, that's the kind of worker that we'd love. Hello, if you are a fan of Scott Hall, that is one of the things that he was like, that's why he like didn't really care that he never won the WWE championship. It's like, all right, well, it never happened. Okay, but I put people over and I made people better. So I'm saying Fletcher.
AEW TNT championship. We got scapegoat Jack Perry versus Daniel Garcia. This is where my dude.
Oh god, this is like one of my worst nightmares.
He's winning it. It's his time. He strapped Jack Perry to his own goddamn bus and drove with him on it. Absolutely incredible. I got Jack Perry. I got Daniel Garcia.
Me too.
Gotta breathe before that. And then the tag team championships. Private Party defending against the Outrunners, Kings of the Black Throne, who are Aleister Black and Brody King, and the Acclaimed. So, Sarah, you got the Acclaimed?
Absolutely not.
Yes. Max Caster getting the pinfall? Yes, that's exactly what you want. I totally knew it from the look on your face. I have Private Party successfully defending their tag team championships. They deserve it. They deserve a lengthy run. They are electric. I'm obsessed with Isaiah Cassidy too. And they do the John Wall. Oh,
I don't know enough about those teams to really do a pick, so I'll just go with what you said.
You would like Private Party. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
And you obviously like Aleister Black or Malachi Black in AEW.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah. I also see this being the Outrunners ending up feuding with FTR somehow.
I do not watch, but I kind of stay up to date with what's going on. I don't try to pretend like I know everything.
Big Boss, I do watch and know everything. So you talk to me.
I try to
about it.
stay up to like, okay, what's going on, whatever, but I don't watch just because like I just never have. So that's why if I don't know something, I'm not really gonna comment about it because
Just defer to Pitts.
yeah.
Just defer. It's basically what you got to do at the end. Or who we got here? Jay White versus Hangman Page. I don't know. I'm really torn about this one.
I'm gonna say Jay White.
I'm gonna go Hangman.
Okay.
Not to be different, but Hangman is just another level of psycho right now that I'm obsessed with. And they're really doing a good job in how they're booking his characters. So I'm in. I'm for it. Although I do not want to see Jay White suffer another loss, but
Also, I've
that's
never hidden this, by the way. So it's not really calling me out. I've never hidden that I predominantly watch WWE. So
who says that?
just saying.
Where is it? All right. And we got MJF versus Roderick Strong. I got MJF beating Roderick Strong to a bloody pulp in front of Adam Cole. That
Yeah.
is, I do not see Roderick Strong. We just brought up Rocky. Yeah. And specifically Rocky 4. Like, yeah, Drago is going to be MJF in this. That promo he cut in front of the abandoned building was wow. Like that man is out for blood.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the last match, we got QT Marshall with Big AJ and Big Justice, who will be bringing the boom.
They're probably gonna win, aren't they?
I could see him winning on like a roll up or the power boom. He's calling his finishing move, which is probably a power bomb, the power boom. I'm sorry, I'm not the biggest fan of this guy, but he's a fucking genius. He knows his shit. Like, fuck you, but really good job. Fuck you, but that's great. Like, oh man. I hate it.
Thank you for defending me because this is very true. I have a job, a full-time job covering football. That takes up most of my time. And I don't have a lot of time to sit and dedicate to watching more wrestling. Not even just because like it's not like, oh, I wouldn't necessarily enjoy it.
Like,
It's
yeah, you
like
don't scoff at it.
no, like I'm not saying I wouldn't that I would hate AEW, but it's like most of the time when I don't have to work or I don't have to be preparing for a live stream, I just sit here and do nothing. Like, I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to watch anything. Like, I just want to shut my brain off. So the idea of then like adding more wrestling than what I already watch just doesn't appeal to me. Sometimes I don't even watch Raw and SmackDown. Like I'll read the cliff notes or watch clips. Like that's just where I'm at right now because we're in the middle of the NFL season. I don't have a lot of extra time to be like, doing extra stuff. So
that's why you got me. Who's watching every night?
Well,
I don't watch Monday Night Football during
no, I'm like sitting here all like freaked out because Thursday Night Football's on, so I'm like, I need to watch.
Oh yeah, shit, it's on right now. Forgot about that. All right, well, it is the 1, 2, 3 count. Start with jobbers of the 2000s, Sarah. I got one. Right in my brain. I got a couple actually. So do you actually?
I'm looking some up to see.
I kind of want to look some up. I want to look because I have a bunch of them in my head, but I want to get a good one.
Some of these are not jobbers. Come on, bro. Vladimir Kozlov, I would not say was a jobber.
Yeah, it was. No, he wasn't. He had a WWE title shot. He wasn't. I don't see him. No. Oh, we're looking at that. All right.
Okay, I think I got one.
Oh, okay. I got one. All right.
Okay.
So is your SmackDown or Raw?
Oh, now I have to look. I think he was mostly on SmackDown, but let me double check.
Okay.
I want to say he's not known for being on one show or the other.
Oh, okay. Attitude Era?
Yes.
Or more Ruthless Aggression Era?
Like 2001, and then he was back in 2003 to 2005. Came back in 2006. Like
Is
he
Scotty? Is it Scotty Too Hotty?
no.
Okay.
I would not call him a jobber. Hello.
Okay. Good. Okay.
How many is that? 3 or 4?
I'm at 4.
Okay.
2001. Came around. Were they in a tag team?
If they were, it was not something they were known for.
Okay. Did they ever win the Cruiserweight title?
No.
Did they ever win a title?
Not in WWE.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Also, the Celtics are not cheating. That you can't cheat in basketball.
Tell Tim Donaghy that.
How do you cheat in basketball? That's what I want to know.
Referees easily. Lakers Kings.
The Celtics aren't even playing. The Celtics aren't even playing.
Yeah, it's everyone just thinks Boston are cheaters. I am having a real tough time. Blonde or brunette? I'm like trying to really
Brunette.
picture this. Brunette. Okay, they didn't win a title. Fuck. Should I know this person?
I feel like yeah. I've seen this person in a dark match, or maybe they were on SmackDown. I don't know. I've seen them.
Is it Funaki?
No.
Oh, okay. That was where my mind was going.
When I think of Funaki, I think of Taka also. So it's like I don't.
So you think of Kai-Tai?
Yes.
Okay, you think of both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how your wrestling mind works.
I am a child of No Mercy on N64, so they were a
greatest
thing.
games of all time.
Yeah.
One of the greatest wrestling.
I played it not that long ago.
Wait, where?
At my house. I still have it.
Oh, you still? I can't. We should play it when I come. Before
I can bring it
because I'm gonna be because I'm whatever you call it. I'm gonna be out in Arizona. All by my lonesome for a couple of days. Shit. I'm like stalling. Who is it? I can't get it. No, give me one more. It was Jamie Noble?
No. Do you want me to tell you?
Oh, I can't get it. I'm not gonna get it.
Jimmy Wang Yang.
Fuck. He was here in 2001?
Mm-hmm.
Who? With who?
He was in WWE.
That threw me off. See, that threw me off. I didn't know he was here in WWE.
Yeah, World Wrestling Federation. Then he came back in 2003 to 2005.
Who
came back
in 2001?
Came back in
2006 to 2008.
2006 to 2010. He came back in 2021 also.
Oh, for like a Rumble appearance. Who was he in 2001? He was not Jimmy Wang Yang in 2001. Because now I'm fascinated.
Hold on. Oh, they got him from WCW, I think.
Oh, what was his name?
It doesn't say.
Oh, shit. Now I'm mad. Now I'm mad about that because I probably would have. That threw me off. All right. All right. So I got one. Go.
Is it male or female?
Oh, because there were female ones. We're going male.
Was it the Attitude Era?
Yes.
Was he part of a tag team?
Not a good one, but technically yes. Like a bedfellow one, yes.
Okay. Blonde or brunette?
Brunette.
Is he a big dude?
No, but not a big dude.
Is this Jamie? Are you saying Jamie Noble?
It is not Jamie Noble.
Okay. Is who?
Yeah. Yours is all right. Mine is a lot easier than Jimmy Wang Yang.
Okay.
You absolutely know who this person is. Don't you got a cup.
I know. I'm trying to think. I don't. Did he ever win a championship?
Yes.
Tag team?
No.
Cruiserweight?
No.
Hardcore?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. It's not Spike Dudley.
No. He won a cruiserweight. He was a cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, but he also wasn't a part of like a bedfellow tag team.
He was a part of a tag team.
Yeah, but still.
Coming down.
I saw him at the airport in Rhode Island as a child. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, even though it was just Spike Dudley. Did he have long hair?
Yes.
Is it Al Snow?
What does everybody want?
Oh my god, the fact that I did not get that until I was that old. Yeah. Whoop whoop whoop.
What does everybody need?
Yeah. That is so weird.
Oh, it's one of the greatest. It's one of the many reasons why I love professional wrestling. And then we have two. SmackDown predictions. What do we get into this week? Are we gonna find out who the fifth member is this week?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they wait to tell us until the Go Home SmackDown. They tend to do that a lot. They wait until the SmackDown the night before for us to find out. So no, I think that we're gonna see some more about what's going on with Paul Heyman.
Ooh.
I don't think we'll see Paul Heyman, but I think they're gonna dive into that for sure.
Do we think we find out if Sammy switched the phones or not?
I don't know. I feel it's hard for me to believe that they're gonna have gone through all that they did to like reunite the bloodline and then have drama with Sammy. Because then that brings them back down to 3 members.
Yeah, no, you're right. But
You know, it's like
I'm very interested.
No,
or if he took the wrong phone.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. And then 3, I only really have a quick update for you because I'm just playing this at my leisure at this point until 2K25 comes out. So you're a big movie star now. And you're supposed to have Trish Stratus on the show because you defeated Charlotte Flair. Good shit. But Trish canceled on you, and then she interrupted your match. And then when you went back to, your show after the match, your set was gone. And it was blamed on Trish Stratus. It was blamed for it by Natalya. So you confronted Trish at a show in Japan, I'm pretty sure. Or was it LA? It was LA. It was an LA show. So you confront her and she's like, I didn't do it. Like, you psycho. I didn't do it. Found out Natalya did it because she was jealous that you didn't have her on your show for her cats. Because yes, that's canon. The cats are canon. And she was pissed that you didn't put her on captive audience to have her cats on.
Oh my gosh.
So you and Trish team up to face Natalya and Tiffy at Backlash, or whatever it was after Backlash. I don't know. No, Natalya and Charlotte. My bad. Not Tiffy. Charlotte. And then you get the win, and you're taking some time off. It's time for Psycho Sally to go and me to explore whatever. So, yeah. That's what's going on in the Bad Gal. So let's get some final comments now.
Also, just as a PSA, we won't be here until Sunday.
Sunday is when
it's my mom's birthday on Saturday.
Happy birthday to Mama Sara. And we'll be back on Sunday to go over SmackDown. And until then, thank you. Thank you guys for subscribing. Hit that subscribe button and bell notification to know every time we go live. And then follow us on all social media platforms below. And until Sunday, thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. See you Sunday. Yes.